So the rumors around Chris Olave have been swirling over the last few days in regards to AFC North teams like the Browns and the Steelers trying to trade for him. It seems like this was a trade that came up at the beginning of the offseason, maybe even last year, but the Saints rejected all offers, and there have been rumors that they are just going to re-sign him. But let's be completely 100% honest here. Olave has not been a fit in New Orleans. He just hasn't, whether it's been injuries or just other factors that have and have not been his fault. He needs a change in scenery, and the Saints need a fresh start away from him. And even though the Browns got rejected at first, since the Steelers went the DK Metcalf route, they are out of the race, and it's obvious the Browns could really use a player like Olave to come in and be a number 2 receiver. And I really am starting to get this sense of deja vu, that feeling that Andrew Berry, who historically loves to trade for wide receivers, might make some magic happen and somehow pull this trade off like he did for Jerry Jeudy with the Denver Broncos. So in this video, I want to talk about and break down everything you need to know about this potential trade and how realistic of an idea it is, and then I want to talk about what could be the most critical thing for the Browns this year in 2025 to have success, and that is the running back unit. Because Kevin Stefanski is going to take back over the play calling this year, and I really think he is going to get the Browns back to their roots of running the football and being a ground and pound, hard-nosed type of team that wins in the trenches. But first, before I get into everything, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 60,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so starting off with Chris Olave, like I said, it would be deja vu if Andrew Berry somehow pulled off the trade when we all least expect it. And if this trade happened, it would be super similar to the Jeudy trade, with the fact that Jerry Jeudy never really found his footing in Denver, but in Cleveland he broke out even with inconsistent quarterback play. He just needed a new environment and a new system, and honestly, it is just different for every player. There's nothing special about Cleveland's offense. At times it's brutal to watch, they can't even get first downs, but Jeudy found his stride, and then a guy like Amari Cooper hated the offense so much that he got traded to Buffalo, so who knows what things could be like for Chris Olave. But he did go to college at Ohio State, so he knows Ohio a little, but again, he is just one of those guys that may need to change the scenery to be successful. Let's take a look at what his numbers have been so far in the NFL. Olave obviously started his NFL career off hot. In his rookie season, he played in 15 games and had 1,042 yards and 4 touchdowns, and in terms of yards per catch, this was his best season, averaging just short of 15. In his sophomore season, Olave had about the same number in terms of yards with 1,123. He actually had a bit more, but he did play in one more game, and he had 5 touchdowns. So I think in terms of just production, most people would say that Olave's second season was his best so far, and then last year he only had 400 yards, but he played in 8 games. He only had 1 touchdown as well. So in 2025, he is going to be looking to rebound, whether it's in New Orleans playing with the Saints, or if it's somewhere else in a new system, hopefully Cleveland. But anyways, even with the trade getting rejected, the Jerry Jeudy trade really is why I still think an Olave trade is possible for the Browns, because when the Browns traded for Jeudy, that was not the only time that Andrew Berry was trying to get him. That trade was a year in the making. The Browns front office just stayed persistent and never gave up, and then the right moment finally came along for that trade to happen at the right price for both sides. So this Olave thing really could just be a waiting game again. With how NFL front offices work and just how the NFL works in general, sometimes it's all just about timing and waiting for that right moment. The Saints could not like what they are seeing during the offseason programs. Something behind the scenes could happen. Olave really could become available. This trade rumor is not the biggest stretch I've ever seen, and again, even though he only had 400 yards in 8 games last year, I think he can easily rebound and get at least back to over 800 or 900 yards a season. And with Cedric Tillman set to be the number 2 receiver on the Browns depth chart, this really would be the perfect opportunity for Olave to come in and get a lot of targets and kind of get his career back on the right track. And he would be a big weapon for the quarterback room, whether it ends up being Shedeur Sanders under center, who has impressed a lot of people in the Browns organization, whether it's Dylan Gabriel or Joe Flacco. I hope to God it's not Pickett, but if the Browns are going to put a young QB out there, you want to give that guy as many weapons as possible. I'm not sure that Cedric Tillman is a good number 2 receiver for a rookie quarterback, but I will say I'm a little less nervous with Njoku and Fannin over at tight end. Anyways, moving on and switching topics, let's go to the other thing I promised to talk about in the intro. Let's talk about the running back room. Unfortunately, first things first, I know I kind of talked about this in other videos, but I don't think Nick Chubb is going to be a Cleveland Brown in 2025. I've seen Dallas Cowboys rumors, there's a few teams that might sign him, and even though I I want the Browns to give him his money, and I would love him on the team, making an impact both in the locker room and also a bit on the field. It's clear Chubb ain't the same player anymore. It's impressive and inspiring enough that he was able to get back on the field and recover after that injury, but he's a shell of himself. He's no longer the same player. And honestly, with the way the Browns running back room is constructed right now, for Chubb's sake, I'd rather him go to a team where he has an actual opportunity to get carries, because the Browns now have 3 running backs that would be in front of him on the depth chart, and I've never seen an NFL team paying their 4th-string running back more than a minimum deal. So yeah, the Chubb thing is over. It sucks, but hey, the way I'm looking at it is that I'm glad it happened rather than sad it's over. Not to get all corny. But let's look forward, because I am super excited about this new room of Jerome Ford, Quinshon Judkins, and Dylan Sampson. Jerome Ford actually has been really solid over the last 2 years. Obviously, he hasn't been prime Chubb, but he has carved himself a nice role and into a good player. In 2023, he averaged 4 yards a carry with over 800 yards, and last season, he had 565 rushing yards, but the big thing about last year was that he put up over 5 yards a carry. The Browns' offense was just all over the place with the quarterback situation. There was no consistency. The O-line was injury-plagued. I can't even blame Ford for what happened last year, but he showed signs that he can be an 1,000-yard guy if he needs to be. But he won't need to be because of the guys behind him. Quinshon Judkins was an absolute animal during his time at Ole Miss, and last year he was a big part of Ohio State's national title run, as most of you guys watching probably know and watched all year long. I don't really think he's going to be that home run, big play type of guy at the NFL level. Obviously, he can have those 20-plus yard gains. He's more than capable, but I think he's going to be used more in those gritty situations, 3rd and 2, the goal line plays. I think that is going to be his role. Now, in terms of Dylan Sampson, Sampson has actually seen Alvin Kamara comparisons due to his playing style and the fact that they both played at the University of Tennessee. Those comparisons started prior to heading to college, including from Sampson himself. Let's take a look at this clip I found with some of Sampson's high school coaches comparing him and talking about him and who he is.
On the field, he's obviously electric. He can score anytime he touches the football. He makes people around him play harder because they know that at any point in time, he can score.
College scouts have taken notice, receiving offers from multiple Power 5 schools, including Tennessee, where Sampson plans to extend his football career.
Obviously, he did go to Tennessee and had a great career that led him to the NFL, and he is ready to come in and make an immediate impact for the Browns in 2025. That's really all I have to say for this video. Let me know in the comments below how you're feeling about a potential Chris Olave trade and whether you would like to see it happen or not. Drop a Y if so, and drop an N for no if you do not think the Browns should trade for Olave. Also, give your reasons why, and then let me know who you think the starting QB for the Browns should be. I know I've kind of been talking about this all offseason long so far, but still, we are in the thick of this race. Right now, I really hope personally that Shedeur Sanders wins it all, but I wouldn't be surprised if Flacco ends up under center. It's definitely a tight competition. It's going to be fun to watch over the next few weeks as OTAs come around and then training camp. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe, because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.